Welcome to Middle Math Academy Inequalities Level number 4. This is part of our differentiated series where we have 5 levels of challenge for every topic. Let's get started. Our learning target today is I can interpret and represent single inequalities in various real-world contexts and represent the solutions on a number line. Before we get started, pause and rate yourself on this learning target 1 through 5. 1 is the least confident, 5 is the most confident. At the end of today's lesson, after we've gotten some more practice, we'll rate ourselves again after the lesson. Let's take a look at our notes. Our first note is inequalities can represent constraints or conditions in various real-world scenarios. Make sure you're writing with me. If you ever need more time during today's video, make sure to pause and take the time you need. Greater than is represented by this symbol. Then we have less than. At least or minimum are keywords for greater than or equal to. And no more than and maximum are keywords for less than or equal to. So when we represent inequalities on a number line, we can use an open circle for greater than and less than, which means the number is not included in the solution. Or we can use a closed circle or a shaded in circle for greater than or equal to and less than or equal to, which means the number is included in the solution. So after you choose either an open or closed circle, depending on the symbol, then you're going to shade in the direction that makes the inequalities true. So let's practice with a few examples. Our first example says a school requires students to have at least 70% to pass a course. Represent this condition using an inequality and graph it. And so we're going to use x for our variable. So we know we can write x, and we also have 70. And we need to first determine what inequality symbol we're using. So if it says at least 70%, that means the student can still pass if they get a 70. So 70 is included in the solution. So then we'll ask ourselves, if the student gets a 71, do they pass? Yep. 72? Yep. What about a 69? Nope. If the student gets a 69, they don't pass the course, so that is not included in the solution. So because 70 is included, we're going to do a closed circle. And we're going to shade towards all of the numbers that are solutions. So that means our inequality is x is greater than or equal to 70 because x could be 70. X could also be 71, 72, or any number that is equal to 70 or greater than. So it helps to test different conditions to figure out what your inequality should be. Go ahead and try this next example on your own where it says a container. Once you try this one on your own, come back to the video to check your work. This example says a container can hold no more than 50 liters of water. Okay, so we have no more than 50. We know we're using x as our variable. And we know we're either going to have an open or closed circle at 50. So we'll ask ourselves, can the container hold 50 liters of water? Well, yeah, it can. It just can't hold any more than 50. So can it hold 51? Nope. Can it hold 49? Yep. So it can hold 50 and any number less than 50. So that means x is less than or equal to 50. So we're going to put a closed circle at 50. And we're going to shade in the direction that makes the solution true. Pause the video and practice examples A, B, C, and D on your own. Then come back to the video to check your work. For example A, you should have an open circle at 5 because the problem told us that the item must be over $5. So 5 is not included, so we have an open circle. Let's check our work for example B. This one, a child must be under 48 inches. So they can't be 48 inches. It has to be less than 48. So you should have an open circle at 48. And don't forget to write your inequality as well. Let's check our work for example C. A person must be at least 18 years old to vote. So we have a closed circle because they can be 18 years old or any age older than 18. So 18 is included as a solution. 18 is greater than or equal to 18. Let's check our work for example D. The maximum weight is 2,000. So the bridge can hold 2,000 kilograms or anything less than 2,000. So 2,000 is a solution and we have a closed circle. Once you finish checking your work for example D, go ahead and check in with your teacher to get any additional feedback. Come back to the video when you're ready for page 2. On page 2, complete just examples A and B. Once you finish these two problems, come back to the video to check your work. Check your work for example A. Check your work for example B. Complete the rest of page 2 on your own, then check in with your teacher to get any additional feedback. Complete A and B on page 3. Once you finish these two problems, come back to the video to check your work. Check your work for problems A and B. Complete the rest of page 3, then check in with your teacher. Complete A and B on page 4. Come back to the video when you're ready to check your work. Check your work for problems A and B. Complete the rest of page 4, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Complete problems A and B on page 5, then come back to the video to check your work. Check your work for problems A and B. Complete the rest of page 5, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Complete all of page 6. Once you finish this entire page, come back to the video. Check your work for error analysis number 1. Check your work for common misconception problem number 1. Those are the only two problems we'll check on page 6. Now that you've completed all of page 6, go back to page 1, and as promised, you're going to rate yourself on our learning targets after the lesson, now that you've gotten more practice. Once you're finished page 6, you rated yourself on page 1, check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Thank you for joining us today at Middle Math Academy, where we practice Inequalities Level number 4. This is part of our differentiated series where we have 5 levels of challenge for every topic. If you're looking for any additional practice, make sure to check out levels 1, level 2, level 3, or our most challenging level, level number 5. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.